Hi everybody, I am Dr. D.D. Sawant from J.A.T Arts, Science and Commerce College for Women, Malegaon District, Nashik. The topic today is a rift valley of East Africa. As a rift valley is a linear depression or trough created by the sinking of the intermediate crustal rocks between two or more parallel faults is known as a graben, and the accompanying morphological feature is a rift valley. The East African Rift Valley and the Rhine Graben are some of the typical examples of these features. As the East African rift system is one of the geologic wonders of the world, the Nubian plate makes up most of Africa, while the smaller plate that is pulling away has been named the Somalian plate. These two plates are moving away from each other and also away from the Arabian plate to the north. And here's the point where these three plates meet in the Afar region of Ethiopia forms what is called a triple junction. Hence, the rifting of continental lithosphere is the very first stage in the splitting apart of continent to form a new ocean basins. The process is beautifully illustrated by the East African Rift Valley system. This region has attracted the attention of geologists since the 1900s. They gave the name Rift Valley to what is basically a graben, but with a more complex history that includes the building of volcanoes on the graben floor. The East African Rift Valley system extends from the Red Sea southward about 3000 km, about 1800 miles. Along this axis, the Earth's crust is being lifted and spread apart in a long, ridge-like swell. The Rift Valley system consists of a number of graben-like troughs, each in a separate rift valley ranging in width from about 30 to 60 km, means a 20 to 40 miles. Major rivers and several long deep lakes, for example, like Lake Nyasa and Lake Rudolph, occupy some of the valley floors. Two great volcanoes have been built close to the Rift Valley, east of Lake Victoria. One is the Mount Kilimanjaro, whose summit rises to over 5,895 meters. It means that about 19,160 feet. The other, Mount Kenya, is also a little lower and lie on the equator. Now, what is the East African tree system that we are observing, that we are studying? That falls have great geomorphological, ecological, and socio-economic significance. They are the producers of earthquake and pulverizers of the rock. From the economic point of view, petroleum deposits are found in porous sedimentary rocks that have been faulted against impervious shale beds. Consequently, area of faulted sedimentary strata are favorite area of oil exploration. Faults also give rise to the underground water table and along fault planes, which result into spring, which means that, for example, hot and cold. In fact, most of the hot and cold springs are situated along fault lines Moreover, fault scarps can form topographic barriers across which it is difficult to build roads and railways. They may also give rise to waterfalls. Hence, the oldest and best defined rift occurs in the Afar region of Ethiopia, and this rift is usually referred to as a Ethiopian rift. Further to the south, a series of rifts occur which include a western branch and the Lake Albert Rift and Albertine Rift, which contains the East African Great Lakes, and an eastern branch of through bisects Kenya north to south on a line slightly west to Nairobi. These two branches together have been termed the East African Rift EAR, while parts of the eastern branch have been variously termed the Kenya Rift or the Gregory Rift. The two East African rifts branches are often grouped with the Ethiopian rift to form the East African rift system, that is EARS. The complete rift system therefore extends thousands of kilometers in Africa alone and several thousand more if we include the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden as extensions. Hence, the faults also have tremendous importance in the weathering of rocks. The course of small streams often follow joint systems, while stream erosion, particularly on the outer bends of meandering rivers, is made more rapid and effective by joints. Glaciers and waves would be much less effective erosive agents if they working on perfectly solid rather than on jointed rocks. So, as a one popular model for the EARS assumes that elevated heat flow for the mantle is causing a pair of thermal bulges in central Kenya and the Afar regions of north central Ethiopia. Bulges are initiated by mantle plumes under the continent hitting the overlying crust and causing it to expand and fracture. So, the stretching process associated with the rift formation is often preceded by huge volcanic eruptions which flow over large areas and are usually preserved exposed on the flanks of the rift. Hence, here the various diagrams which are shown as the Rift Valley, new oceanic basins, and mature oceans. Thank you very much.